Oh, oh, welcome, my constant reader friends. I'm Tad, and this is Tad Reads Books and Stuff. I'm sorry, I was just finishing reading Neil Gaiman's American Gods, the annotated version. So, we're going to talk about it. I was asleep, sorry. I'm going to try to be awake and coherent for this video. We'll see how that goes. Oh, I'm wearing my other Christmas shirt. We're in December. So, let's get the numbers out of the way. So, American Gods, of course, by Neil Gaiman. It is annotated by Leslie Klinger. Leslie Klinger, he's an editor in New York, and he does a lot of annotated annotations of novels. He's won awards for it, as well as this book. So, this book was originally, American Gods, published in 2001. So, geez, it's been almost 22 years since this book was originally published. This version, including everything, there's appendix, there's a couple appendixes, index, postscript, there's a lot of annotation. This book has a lot in it. It's actually pretty heavy. I don't know if I can keep holding it up. So this version has 627 pages in all. On Goodreads, it's a 4.11. So take that information however you want to absorb it. Usually something over 4 in my book is at least an indicator that it might be pretty good. Over 862,000 ratings for this book. Whew. This book won the Hugo Award, Locus Award, Nebula Awards, all in 2002, and has won other awards here and there, specifically European or other country awards. Very well received, awarded book. What is the book? Basically. So, first off, this is a picaresque or road novel. It's basically a travel novel. You're traveling all over America and we're meeting different gods. How did these gods get to America? They were brought to America, from some scenes from pilgrims or whatever. At old, there's a different versions of different gods from, of course, different countries all over the world. Some of the slaves brought some of their gods. The immigrants from Ireland brought their gods. And that's supposedly how these gods came to America. Interesting. Very interesting. The novel itself follows an ex-convict. His name's Shadow Moon. Cool name, Neil. And he's an ex-con. In the beginning of the book, he's recently getting out of prison. He had served 3 years of a 6-year sentence, and he's getting out a little bit early for another reason. I'm not going to give it away. You can read the book. But I will say he basically was in prison because he took the fall for his lovely wife, Laura. Laura worked in a casino and hatched a scheme for them to rob the casino, and it went bad. But, he is so in love with Laura, and he just takes the fall for her and goes to prison. So he gets out of prison, and on his way home, he meets this very strange but charismatic gentleman on a plane. And the gentleman tells him basically his name's Wednesday. He doesn't, I think, really want to give him his real name, identify himself right off. But he offers Shadow a job. He seems to know that Shadow's the next con and may need work, and who's going to hire you? Come work for me. You have nothing left at home. He goes into the spiel. Eventually, Shadow decides to work for Wednesday as he says a bodyguard. He's like a bodyguard slash chauffeur, slash errand boy. He just basically does whatever Wednesday asks him to do. And it goes from there. So, as you probably know, if you've heard anything about this book or familiar with it at all, again, it's over 20 years old. It is a story about old gods versus new gods, and are they going to come to a war, and how is this going to affect America? And I'm not going to go any more into it except for that. Now, let's talk about the book and my feelings of the book. Well, if you saw my little skit there I did at the beginning of this video when I was sleeping, I'm just going to get it out of the way. Yeah, this book can put you to sleep in many different areas. I don't want to come across as mean to Neil. I have watched a lot of videos, interviews with Neil over the years, and I think he's just a cool guy. He's very intelligent. That's where I'm having some issues with this book. He is so intelligent. He gives so many cool ideas, and if you've read any Neil Gaiman, he could be pretty freaky, pretty strange, sometimes out there completely, almost like you're on an acid trip or something. This book has all of that in it. But I think he's too smart. He has these really cool ideas. He definitely has done his research on all these different gods and pantheons and historical references. But he tries to ram it all into this book. And sometimes I think that's what detracts from it, and can just, vast sections of this book are just completely boring. They don't go anywhere. They don't advance the story. I think it would have been way tighter if it was maybe a novella or something. I don't know if I'm getting my feelings of this book across to you, because I don't want to say Neil Gaiman sucks. He doesn't. He's brilliant. I would love to be friends with him. But it's almost like this, and look at this, even this book represents to me something similar to textbooks, I had in college and high school. And it almost reads like a textbook to me. Here's this idea. It's really cool. It's very interesting, but super boring. You study some subject in college, and it's interesting. It's cool maybe, but it's written like a textbook, and it's kind of dry and boring. Don't roast me. I mean, some people will. You're going to say, oh, Neil Gaiman's amazing, and, whatever. Think I'm an idiot. That's fine. I am. But it just feels like a textbook to me. And then I was thinking, so do I have a problem with Neil Gaiman? Do I dislike him? Because this book reminded me of textbooks, and after thinking about it, other books by, you guessed it, Neil Gaiman. Let me set you aside. So, other books, I'm going to set this down. It's heavy. For instance, a couple years ago, I read Neverwhere. My buddy said, you got to read this. It's great. I know you like fantasy and fiction. Got to read Neil Gaiman. And I said, absolutely. At the time, I said, I love Neil Gaiman. Why did I say that? Because, I'll be honest with you, Sandman is amazing. I think Neil Gaiman caught lightning in a bottle, wrote Sandman, and it exploded. It's really cool. It's awesome. And then he just tried to recreate Sandman in everything else he's written. My personal opinion, again, Neverwhere, same thing. Cool ideas. You know, the world below London, it's different, and it's a fantasy, it's a portal. Interesting ideas. Very brilliant ideas. Some of the imagery is really cool. But when I got done with the book, I was like, why do I feel bored? Why do I feel like, okay, whatever. I read it. I'm not going to think about it anymore. Neverwhere. Exact same thing. Again, Anansi Boys. Exact same thing. Cool ideas, cool concepts. Interesting as hell. Brilliant writing. Boring. Sorry. Even before that, you know, I'm a huge Alan Moore fan. Alan Moore was writing Miracle Man, and then when Alan Moore got pissed off at the comic book gods, or, you know, the people that run the show, and quit writing Miracle Man, who took over? Neil Gaiman. What happened? Well, 1 year, last of Miracle Man, done. Who knows if we'll ever see it come back. There's lawsuits with Neil. Oh, jeez. I'm not even going to get into Miracle Man right now. We'll talk about that when I do the whole thing on Miracle Man. So I'm just sitting here saying, it must be Neil Gaiman. Why is it? How can you be so brilliant and come up with such cool ideas and be boring? I've tried to wrap my brain for a good word for this, and all I can come up with, I'm sorry, is passion. I don't feel the passion in his novels. I think he's trying to teach you too much. I don't have it with me. Norse mythology he published a book on Norse mythology in 2017, and I have some interest in this subject, old gods and old religions and old societies and things like that. I've read a lot on Norse sagas and mythology and things like that. So yeah, I ran out, I got Norse mythology, and I listened to it. It was narrated by Neil Gaiman. He read it. And I sat there the whole time thinking, I thought Neil Gaiman was going to bring some more life to these old stories and gods and things. And it was completely boring. It was just like listening to a textbook. So, Coraline. I mean, we could go on and on and on. I didn't like Coraline. Sorry. I gave it to a friend's daughter. She loves it. That's fine. But I keep trying to come back to him because everybody talks about how great he is. He won all these awards. Sandman was great. I just watched Sandman. The first season is out. I think it was great. It was done very well. There's another thing I wanted to say, and again, here's Tad rambling again. He did write the script for a movie called Mirror Mask. I don't know if any of you have seen it. It was not well received, but it's awesome. Why is it awesome? It's awesome because of the imagery, the colors, the production. It was produced by Jim Henson and his film company. So there's some stop motion animation in it. There's some puppetry in it. The colors are cool. Like I said, if you haven't seen Mirror Mask, please watch it. It's kind of become a cult movie. You know, you get on DVD or whatever. When it came out, I think I was reading, it cost $4 million to make, and they only made like $800,000 at the movie theaters. I don't know how much they've made now on DVD sales and things like that. Maybe they got their money back. But every review I read of this movie said the movie is beautiful, elegant, the production is great, but the story is boring and lifeless. So I don't know. There seems to be a trend here. For me, anyways. Neil, come on, man. You're awesome. You're smart. But you have to put some more emotion or feeling or passion into these stories. I don't know, bash me if you will, but that's my take on Neil Gaiman, American Gods. It's definitely interesting. It's definitely different. There's some craziness in this novel. And I just read, after I read a novel, then I'll go and I'll look up, some like the ratings on Goodreads, and I'll read some. And the people that didn't like it, that's what they, pretty much, it's boring in vast majority of it. And it doesn't, they don't know what's going on. There are some twists and turns in it, which I enjoyed. Oh, I'll tell you what, we just watched the first season of the TV series for American Gods, and I freaking loved it. The actors are great in it. They change it around though. They make some different changes, and I think they're for the better. Unfortunately, sorry Neil. But anyways, if you like annotated novels, awesome. I love annotations on novels. This one may be too much. There's maybe too much information. But it gives you some insight on the different gods and maybe some of the different feelings and thoughts that Neil had while he was writing it. It has a lot of information about the TV series too. But I enjoyed the TV series. Let me just update you real quick on Last Argument of Kings. Oh my gosh, I'm still not done with it. I'm on page 526. I got like 70, 80 pages left. It's not, I'm reading it very slow. It's not because I'm not enjoying it, I don't like it. It's just taking me forever. Also, I'm going to be doing another video, probably releasing it tomorrow or the next day. I'll film it probably after this one. I got a book tag from Graz on his GKBC book club channel. And it's the first book tag that somebody directly tagged me in a book tag. So I'm going to be doing a video for that. That's going to be coming soon. Please, if you found any entertainment value in my video, like, subscribe, send me comments. I love the comments. I'm sorry if you're a big fan of American Gods. It seems like Neil Gaiman just isn't for me. All right, guys. I hope you have a great holiday season, and peace out.